This is a demo for the digital reputation dashboard. We're going to walk through some of the main features of the dashboard and some of the usability. This is the main landing page when you log in. So this is what you see. A few quick things. On the left-hand side is the main menu. So as you can see over here, we have overview, visibility, reviews, mentions, competition. So I'm going to go over these 5 tabs for now. When you first log in, you land on the overview page. As you can see right here on top, it says overview. And what this basically does is gives you a real quick snapshot of what your entire visibility is going to look like, including reviews, mentions, and competition. So it's a synopsis, if you will, of the entire dashboard. So the first thing that you'll notice here is that it gives you a brief view at what your visibility score is, what your reviews look like, and what your mentions look like. So for example, over here, it tells you that you have a 97% presence score, and we'll go through this in more detail when I click on the visibility tab. But it gives you a very quick review of how many listings are accurate, how many inconsistent listings you might have, and if you have any missing listings. In the review section, you can see that there's 100 reviews, what the average score is across the board for all these reviews, which in this case is very good, 4.23 out of 5. How many reviews are positive, how many are neutral, how many are negative, and how many have no ratings. And then it gives you a brief overall look at your mentions on the web. And in this case, it says close to 70% of all the mentions on the web are positive, about 8% are negative. Scrolling further down, this gives you a very good overview of where you stand compared to some of your competition. In this case, it gives you the rankings, the search engine rankings on Google for your business compared to your competitors. And you can plug in 3 different competitors, and it shows you where your rankings are. Scrolling further down, it also gives you a very good overview of your social network and how you're faring socially, if you will, compared to your competitors. There's an overview button over here. You can also click individually on Facebook, and it shows you how you do individually on Facebook or Twitter or Foursquare or Google+. Scrolling further down, there's a graph which shows the growth of your the social awareness growth over a period of time. So this just gives you a very good glance at what your overview is. One of the things you can do is you'll see this button over here, which is take a tour. So at any point of time when you're in this dashboard, you can click this button, which I will right now. And there's a pop-up that can give you a quick demo of what the different features are. And if you click on Start Demo, it'll walk you through what the visibility is. You can click Next, walk you through what reviews are, click Next, walk you through what mentions are, so forth and so on. So I'll end this right now, but you can always take advantage of this and click on it at any point of time. Now, let's get into detail with each one of these tabs on the left-hand side. So there's 2 different ways. So in this scenario, visibility is 97%, and if you would like to get more details about what that is, there's 2 ways to go there. You can click here on the bottom, click here to view more details, or just go to the left menu and click on visibility on the left. As you see, this question mark is always a pop-up. The pop-up shows you and explains to you what visibility represents. So when we click on visibility, I'll do it off the left menu for now. It takes you into the actual visibility screen. Again, here on top, it says visibility clearly, and it gives you what the actual score is. In this case, we've found the software, the algorithm has found that this website has been listed accurately on at least 25 different directories, actually 30 directories because it's 25 plus 5. It just simply says that 5 out of the 30, there might be some inconsistency. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just to highlight, to show that there might be some inconsistencies between the listings, and that's what this represents. And there's actually one that's missing. So if you go further in, this is pretty comprehensive. It actually shows the visibility on review sites, search engines, and a whole bunch of directory sites. It's important to be listed, and also social sites. It's important to be listed on as many of these as possible, and that comprises the visibility of your website on the internet. So when you click here on, for example, more info, and we'll look at the Bing local visibility, it shows that the business is listed with the address, and the information is accurate. You could also click on the C button, and when you click on the C button, it actually takes you the actual listing on Bing. And you can view the listing. So I'll exit that out. So in this case scenario, it just tells you that yes, you're listed on Bing and everything is fine. Let's go down and look at a listing where it says there's a possible inconsistency. So for example, zip local, and it says there could be a possible error in the contact info. When we click on that, it clearly highlights here that on zip local, everything seems to be fine. However, the website is missing. So if we go click on C again, it takes you to your listing on zip local, and as you can see, there isn't a website on here. Now, it gives you credit that you actually have the listing, so it's great that you actually have the listing on there. It's just pointing out that maybe there is some data point that might be missing. And so it goes right down, and it gives you a good indication as to where you're listed, how accurate your listings are, and how well you're doing. In general, this is a great presence score. Probably if you have a score over 70%, that's a good score. You obviously want to try and get as good a score as you possibly can. In this case scenario, here's the one missing listing. So they're not listed on this directory, which is Intuit. One of the features that it also has is that it does a possible matches column. And in this case, there are actually no possible matches because you're not listed on Intuit at all. Let me show you some of the other features. You could, actually, let's go back to zip local. Here, you could actually click on the edit. Now, when you go to the edit button, what it will actually do is it'll take you to the main website, ziplocal.com, because what it's expecting you to do is to create an account or sign in right here, and then you can go ahead and either claim your listing or edit your listing. That's what the edit thing is for. This typically you're not going to have to use in the most case scenario, the not my business, but in some random cases, if the software pulls in something and you feel it's not your business, you can click that and it will immediately delete it. And then you can go down to the possible matches and see if there is another possible match. If you feel there is a directory that's missing and you actually do have a listing on that directory, you can always go to the directory, find your listing, copy the URL, and paste it on here, and then say add, and it'll automatically add it so that you know you're good to go. However, 99.9% of the time, you're not going to have to do that. The software should be able to find it on its own. So that's basically a very quick overview and a guide as to how to use the visibility section. Now I'm going to move on, and let's go back to the left over here, and we're going to click on the review section and go over some of the reviews. This is a great tool to kind of keep an eye on all the reviews you may have on the internet. One of the issues is that sometimes you have sites. The most common sites are obviously Yelp and Google. However, sometimes people will tend to put posts on quite a few different sites. And this software scrapes over 30 different sites to see if you have reviews anywhere. And it will pull it in so that you get a good overview of all of them. You don't have to log into different sites. And it's a great way to keep an eye on what's going on. So very quickly on the review section, again, this is the overview, how many total reviews you have. On the bottom over here, it tells you how many reviews are 4 to 5 stars. And in this case scenario, it's great. 81% of all the reviews are positive, and there's only 9% of reviews which could be termed as negative. You have a total reviews analytics. It shows that out of all the reviews that you have, 24 on Google and 75 of them are on Yelp, and there's one on another website. And this is just a pie chart to kind of illustrate the above. As you keep moving down, this is a nice scrolling feature, and what this does is you see these keywords scrolling across the screen. It actually picks some of the most common keywords that are trending in the reviews and highlights them. So, for example, we can click on one of them, which is shepherd's pie, and when you click on shepherd's pie, it pulls up all the different reviews where shepherd's pie has been mentioned. And in this case, you can see 3 different reviews where shepherd's pie was mentioned, and it highlights it. So that's a good feature where you can kind of look at this scrolling screen, and it kind of gives you a very quick glance at which are some of the most important keywords that people are talking about. As you scroll further down, this right here is actually pulling in all the reviews that are present online. Now you can sort these. So you could look at all the different sources, which are Yelp. So right now you're looking at all sources together, combined. You could click on Yelp, and the software will filter out the remaining reviews, and it's just scrolling through the filter right now. But what it will do is it'll actually show you just the Yelp reviews. You can also, and I'm going to wait for this thing to finish spinning. Okay, here we go. So these are just all the Yelp reviews. You can sort them by newest to oldest, and you can also sort them by positive, neutral, negative. So for example, all you want to see for right now, you would like to see all your negative reviews. Now I've got this sorted by Yelp. They're sorted by newest to oldest, and also by, just right now, I'm just looking at only the negative reviews. We can go back and say all. And as I mentioned earlier, it looks like this company also has a review on Yellow Book. And here you go. It actually, there is a review on Yellow Book, and it's pulling that up also. So we'll go back to all sources. Okay, and so as you can see over here, this is a review that was posted on Yelp on April 8th. And if you want to go see the actual review, all you have to do is click here on the highlighted, the blue highlighted top, and as you can see, it'll take you directly to the review. In Yelp, I believe you have to, oh, here it is, right here on top. Went to lacrosse searching for the golden egg rolls, which is right there. A couple of different things you can do with this, which are really cool features, is that if in case you would like to push this review to a social media account. So this dashboard has the feature that you could log in with your social media accounts like Facebook or Twitter, for example. And if you get a good review, it would be really cool to push this review out, for example, to your Facebook page. You can just click on this button here where it shows push to social media accounts. And if you're logged in, you'll be able to take this review and push it directly into your social media account. That's a real brief overview of the review section. As you can see, it's pretty comprehensive, and it has quite a few really neat features. If you take the tour, again, the tour button is always present, and you can also take a tour of each section as you go through it, and it'll help you walk you through all the different features. Okay, so now we're going to go to the mentions section, and you can go on the left-hand side here. Mentions basically show you all the times your business has been mentioned online, as this pop-up explains, and what's being said from different places like blogs and newspapers, etc. To put it simply, mentions, you could term them as people talk about you, just like reviews, but it doesn't have a star rating. That's one easy way to put it. Again, you can look in the top here, and you're always aware of where you are within the dashboard. It says mentions on top. It also highlights mentions here on the left-hand side. And in this case, again, there's a graph. This graph shows how many mentions you've been receiving over a course of time. This bar graph over here kind of explains how many of them are positive, how many of them are neutral, how many of them are negative possibly. Real quick, up on top over here, you can always export any of the screens that you're viewing into a PDF file. So as you can see over here, you can click on that and you'll be able to download the entire mention screen. And you can do the same thing for the overview, for the visibility, the review, and the competition sections. So you can always download this. What you see over here is that it's been pulling up all these different types of mentions that it feels it sees online for the specific business. And let me find one and I'll take you through quickly some of the different features that the mention section has. This is probably the most editable section of all because you can actually look at these mentions. So right over here, Dublin Square, looks like it's found a MapQuest listing for Dublin Square. And what you can do is a few different things. So as you can see, it shows you that the mention is somewhat positive, it could be neutral, or it's very negative. Now, there's a way for you to change the sentiment. As you can see, there's a box over here on the left, and if you click that box, and hypothetically, let's say you went and you looked at this listing right here, and you wanted to say that this listing, actually I went and checked it out, and it's not very negative, it's actually just a neutral listing. You can do neutral, you can change sentiment, and as you can see, it changes sentiment to neutral. So it's editable by you, so that you can edit this if you need to. Some of the other features on here is you can bookmark a specific sentiment with this star right here. So as you're going through this, you can bookmark as many as possible so you can view the ones that you have found interesting. Sometimes it'll pull in something that you maybe content that you put online yourself. And you can click this My and it will tag it as it's your own content. And if you think it's totally irrelevant, because it's an algorithm, it's a software, it's going out there and trying to pull in as much as it can. Some of it might not be relevant, and you can just click on the X and tag it as not relevant, and if you do that, it'll actually pull it out, so you don't see it anymore. So that's basically the mention section. You can sort it by date. There's a filter here where you can look at your tags. So if on the bottom you bookmark stuff, or if it marks stuff as your own content, or if it marks stuff as not relevant, you can always go back and tag it and sort it by that. It also has this, you want to see all the videos out there about you, or if it's on the blog, or if it's coming through Twitter, or if you think it's a news article, you can always sort it by that. Or ultimately, you can sort it by sentiment. So again, it has a lot of different functionality that you can play around with, and helps you kind of get a gauge of what people are saying online about you. We're going to move on now to the competition section, and we'll click on the left. The competition section gives you a very good snapshot of how your business is faring versus your competitors. It compares different metrics such as rankings on search engines, how you're doing socially, so forth and so on. I guess the best part of this section is that if for some reason you feel one of your competitors is doing better business than you, is getting more business than you, when you click on this, it should give you some insight as to why that may be happening. Maybe they're more visible online, they're more listed on more directories than you are, or their rankings are much better than yours, or they're much more active on socially than you are. Or, for example, they have a ton more reviews. So a lot of times people wonder why some competitor is doing better than them, and this might give you some insight into why that would happen. We just went through the competition section, so after going through the competition section, I'm going to go through some of the other features here on the left-hand side. This is a reporting section. And you can go through this, and depending on how you want to get your reports, you might want to get weekly reports, monthly reports. You can click on here, and if you ask for weekly reports, it actually saves all the weekly reports in the dashboard, and you can go at any point of time, click on View, and look at the weekly report. Similarly, there's a monthly report, and if you wanted to just get a monthly report, you can go in here, and you can view, and I'll just click on the View button. And this is the type of report that should be emailed to you. You can see it on a monthly basis. One of the great features the dashboard has is that if you're getting new reviews, and you can set up that on a weekly basis, it'll actually send you an email and let you know about the reviews that you receive. So in this case scenario, here's a report that could have been sent out on 19th March, and when you click on it, you can see that these were the reviews that were posted during that week. So it's a great way to keep up with new reviews. A lot of times we're not aware that somebody has posted a review, and the system is scanning continuously, and it can notify you whenever you get a new review. And that's a great feature also. Similarly, for mentions, if you have new mentions coming in and if you want to view them, you can do the same thing on the mentions reports, and you can come back in here and you can actually view all the different mention reports. There's an entire section dedicated to social media. And if you're really into social media, you can do a lot of different things on social media. I'm going to go directly to lead marketing. And this is a great way to kind of market yourself on Twitter and try to earn new business on Twitter, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. When you come in here, you can go click on Add Keyword, and we're going to add, I don't know, for example, happy hour. You can come in here and you can put in your specific zip code or your city. In this case, we'll go with Chicago. You can also go in and say within 5, 10, 25, 50-mile radius. So let's keep it a little tight. We'll keep it as miles. And we'll say, so basically what we're doing is we're asking for the software to find anybody that within a 5-mile radius of the city center of Chicago who might have tweeted about happy hour. Click Save. And now what you can see is that these are tweets within 5-mile radius of Chicago where, like for this person, for example, not even 8:30, I'm already thinking about happy hour. So you see these people who are talking about happy hour, and what you can do is click here, and if you're logged in with your Twitter account, you can actually send these people a tweet and say, hey, we're going to have a happy hour special. Buy a sandwich, get a beer for free. We'd love it if you walked in, or whatever. Just tweet something, you tweet an offer to these people and see if they would like to come in. So it's a great way of social media marketing, and that's why it's called lead marketing, and trying to get some new customers through social media. I'm going to go through briefly how you can edit some of the settings on here on the dashboard. So for example, as you can see, there's a bunch of different edits you can do yourself. Edit your business, your visibility section. You can edit your competitors. So let's, for example, click on Edit Competitors. And this is where you could actually put in, for example, what keywords you want the system to track on the search engines. So in this case, it's bar, restaurants, and pubs. And it tells you right here, separate each key term with a comma, so you can add the key terms in here. You can add in your Facebook, Twitter, and Foursquare URL. And as you can see over here, there's 3 competitors that have already been added in. And it tells you very clearly here that there's no Twitter information and there's no Facebook information for this specific competitor, which is why sometimes in the competition section you see click to set up. And in this case here, all 3 are filled in. You can edit these. So when you click on it, it'll take you to the screen where you can actually put in their name, put in their website, address, and here's where you would paste in the Twitter and Facebook URLs. Click on Save. And this is how it'll actually pull it into the competition section. Similarly, you can edit different settings, your own business information. You can come in here and you can put in, if you have a change of address or a new phone number or something of that sort, you can put in your different business categories, other business names that you may be known by. You can add a couple of other names in here if you feel there are other names people will know you by, and other phone numbers that you might have. So this very editable, and as you go through these different screens, you'll be able to edit settings depending on what you feel your needs are. So that's a brief overview of the settings. You can always go back to the main page by clicking on Digital Reputation and clicking on Overview. So in these left-hand menus, Digital Reputation is to view all the different components of the digital reputation, and then obviously reports are reports. Social is if you want to get into social, and then different project settings.